Everfield was a place where time stood still. Its cobblestone streets wound through rows of white picket-fenced homes, each a shrine to tradition. The Baskerville household was no exception. Aaron grew up in the constant shadow of his father, Nathaniel, a man whose voice was law in their home. Nathaniel Baskerville was not a tyrant, but a man forged by tradition, whose rigid beliefs left no room for deviation. His children, Aaron and Abigail, had been raised with unwavering discipline and clear expectations. Honor the family, follow the rules, and avoid scandal. Aaron's mother, Martha, was a softer presence, though her health had steadily declined over the years. She watched over her children with a quiet strength that Aaron adored. But it was Abigail, his elder sister, who had tested the boundaries of their father's rule. One night, Abigail packed her belongings and left Everfield, leaving only a note behind. She wanted to live a life of her choosing, free from constraints. That note shattered Nathaniel, and though he never spoke of her again, his iron grip on Aaron tightened. "You won't follow in her footsteps," Nathaniel had said the day Aaron left for university. His tone was calm, almost fatherly, but the weight of the words felt like a chain tightening around Aaron's neck. "Yes, father," Aaron replied, though deep down, he didn't know what path he would walk once he left Everfield. The city was a revelation. From the moment Aaron stepped off the train, he was bombarded by a world that was alive in ways Everfield could never be. The streets teemed with people from every walk of life. Billboards glowed with advertisements, and the air buzzed with energy. He felt like an alien dropped into a universe far larger than he'd ever imagined. Aaron's first few weeks were a mix of wonder and confusion. His classmates introduced him to everything he'd been shielded from: late-night parties, unbridled conversations, and the thrill of making his own decisions. Slowly, he began to shed the rigid shell that had defined him. One day, while volunteering at a charity event for their university's social club, Aaron met Luna. She was stacking canned goods for donation when their eyes met across the room. Her auburn hair caught the sunlight streaming through the windows, and her laugh rang out like music. Aaron hesitated, unsure of how to approach her. It was Luna who broke the silence. "Hey, can you help me with this?" she asked, pointing to a heavy crate. Sure," Aaron stammered, stepping forward. As they worked together, they fell into easy conversation. Luna spoke of her upbringing in a small backwater town, of strict parents and the constant struggle to find herself within their expectations. Aaron listened, surprised at how much her story mirrored his own. "Do you ever feel like you're living someone else's life?" she asked, her voice soft. Aaron paused, meeting her gaze. "All the time." That day marked the beginning of something neither of them could name. Over the next few months, Aaron and Luna became inseparable. They studied together, explored the city, and shared dreams they hadn't dared to voice before. Neither spoke the words love, but it hung in the air between them, an unspoken promise. One evening, they sat on the rooftop of Aaron's apartment building, gazing at the city lights. "You ever think about what happens after all this?" Luna asked, pulling her knees to her chest. "All the time," Aaron said with a small laugh. "My father's already looking for a wife for me. Probably someone from church." Luna smirked. "And you're okay with that?" Aaron hesitated, then shook his head. "Not really, but it's complicated. My mom, she's sick. I think my dad's just trying to make her happy while there's still time." Luna looked away, her expression unreadable. "That's a lot of weight to carry. What about you?" Aaron asked. "What happens after graduation?" Luna sighed. "I don't know. I want to do so much, but I'm afraid I'll just end up like my mom. She had dreams once, too, but they disappeared the moment she got married." Aaron reached for her hand, their fingers intertwining. "You don't have to lose yourself, Luna. You can have both." She smiled faintly, but didn't reply. As graduation approached, Aaron received a call from his father. Nathaniel's voice was as stern as ever, but there was an edge of urgency. "I've found someone for you," Nathaniel said. "I hope you'll consider this seriously, Aaron. Your mother wants to see you settled. Even if it's not my choice, I just hope you will fulfill your mother's wish." Aaron's chest tightened. He knew he couldn't put this off any longer. That night, he invited Luna to dinner, determined to confess his feelings and propose a future together. The evening was magical. Candlelight flickered as they laughed over their shared memories. When the moment came, Aaron took Luna's hands, his voice trembling with emotion. "Luna, I've loved you since the day we met. I want us to be together, to build a life together." Luna, stunned, leaned in and kissed him, a silent affirmation of her feelings. The intensity of the moment swept them away, leading them to Aaron's apartment, where they became one, their souls intertwined under the glow of moonlight. The next morning, Aaron presented a ring, asking Luna to marry him. Her initial joy faded into hesitation as she explained her fears. It was too soon. She wanted to focus on her career and live without the constraints that had defined her childhood. She had seen her mother being crushed under the pressure of marriage and family and losing her dreams. Aaron, though disappointed, understood. He promised to give her time, suggesting only that she meet his father soon to reassure him of their future. He assured her to delay the marriage by next year without realizing that it was still too soon for Luna. As Luna's reluctance grew, and as the days turned into weeks, their once perfect relationship frayed. Arguments replaced laughter, and love began to feel like a battlefield. Their once perfect relationship began to unravel. Arguments replaced sweet moments, and the distance between them grew. And then one day, Aaron discovered Luna's job offer in another city. It felt like the final betrayal. "Are you leaving?" he asked one night, holding the offer letter in his hand. Luna hesitated, and as she was about to explain, Aaron asked her in a commanding voice, "Yes or no?" Luna looked at him and gritted her teeth. "Yes." Aaron forced a smile. "Then I guess that's it. I wish you the best." "Aaron, listen to me," Luna begged. "Love can't be this convenient for you, Luna." Aaron looked at her, his eyes glistening. "I guess this is it." Aaron left Luna's apartment that night with his heart in turmoil. As he walked the city streets, he couldn't help but replay their last conversation in his mind. She had chosen her career over him, or at least that's how it felt. Yet deep down, he understood her fear. He had seen it in her eyes, the hesitation that spoke of dreams too big for the life he was asking her to lead. When Aaron returned to his apartment, a notification lit up his phone. It was an email from the company that had offered him a placement in the same city as Luna's new job. "Due to your failure to confirm the position, we regret to inform you that your application has been withdrawn." Aaron stared at the screen. It was the same company which Luna had received an offer from. He had been offered the exact post, but he had declined the opportunity, thinking he would stay in the city to be close to Luna. Now, she was leaving, and he had nothing to show for his choice. Time passed, and it had been 6 years then. This period was anything but easy for Aaron. With his placement gone, he returned to Everfield to regroup. The town was as stifling as ever, but Aaron found solace in helping his father manage the family business. Over time, his keen mind and work ethic transformed the struggling enterprise into a thriving one. But the memories of Luna lingered. Aaron buried himself in work, rising to prominence in the corporate world. His efforts culminated in his appointment as the CEO of a prestigious firm. Success became his armor, protecting him from the scars of his past. Meanwhile, Luna had carved her own path. The job she'd taken 6 years ago was the first step in a meteoric rise through the ranks of the corporate world. She became a sought-after executive, balancing her demanding career with the joys of raising her daughter Mia. Mia was the light of Luna's life, a spirited child who reminded her of the love she had once known. But the shadows of the past never fully faded. Luna told Mia little about her father, unable to reconcile her emotions enough to speak of Aaron. Luna's transfer to a new city marked the start of another chapter in her life. On her first day at her new company, she arrived early, dressed in a sharp navy suit that radiated confidence. The HR representative, a nervous young woman named Elise, greeted her with a smile. "Welcome, Ms. Hart," Elise said, handing Luna a folder. "Let me show you around." Luna followed Elise through the sleek office building, exchanging pleasantries with her new colleagues. Finally, they stopped outside an imposing set of double doors. "This is the CEO's office," Elise explained. "Mr. Baskerville is, well, let's just say he's very focused on results." Don't let him intimidate you. The name sent a jolt through Luna. She barely had time to process it before the doors opened, and she stepped inside. There he was. Aaron Baskerville stood behind a polished mahogany desk, his tailored suit emphasizing the authority he now commanded. His expression was calm, unreadable, until his eyes met Luna's. For a moment, neither spoke. Aaron's gaze flickered with recognition, but he quickly masked it. "Miss Hart," he said, his tone cool and professional. "Welcome to the team. I hope you'll be an asset here." Luna forced herself to respond. "Thank you, Mr. Baskerville. I'm looking forward to contributing." As she left his office, her mind raced. How had fate brought them back into each other's lives? Aaron watched Luna leave his office, his emotions a storm beneath his composed exterior. He had thought of her often over the years, wondering what had become of her. Now she was here, a part of his company. Later that day, Aaron called the HR director. "How did Ms. Hart come to work here?" he asked, keeping his voice neutral. "She's highly qualified, sir," the director replied. "We're lucky to have her. She signed a 3-year contract." Aaron's jaw tightened. He wasn't petty enough to ask for her dismissal, but the thought of working alongside her dredged up emotions he'd worked hard to bury. Unbeknownst to him, the HR team had misinterpreted his concern. Small obstacles began appearing in Luna's path. Delayed approvals, extra scrutiny of her work, and subtle resistance from colleagues. At first, Luna dismissed it as part of adjusting to a new workplace. But as the difficulties piled up, her suspicions turned to Aaron. One evening, she confronted him after a tense meeting. "Are you doing this on purpose?" she demanded, her voice low but heated. Aaron frowned. "Doing what?" "Making my life hell." "Don't think I don't notice," Luna shot back. "I didn't expect you to be so petty." Aaron's eyes narrowed. "Petty? You're the one who walked away, Luna. I've moved on. Maybe you should too." Their heated exchange left both of them shaken. Office whispers began to spread as their interactions grew more charged. It didn't take long for people to go on social media and dig their history, and the office was suddenly buzzing with the drama, which would seem to be a daily occurrence now. One day, Aaron received a call from his daughter's preschool. "Mr. Baskerville, Emma would like to visit a friend's house after school. The friend's mother will pick them up." After some hesitation, Aaron agreed. When he arrived at the address later that evening, his heart stopped as Luna opened the door. He stood frozen in the doorway, his gaze flickering between her and the little girl who peeked out from behind her legs. There was no denying the familiarity in Mia's wide eyes and impish smile. It tugged at something deep within him. "I didn't mean to intrude," Aaron said cautiously. "I'm just here to pick up Emma." Luna forced a strained smile, her fingers tightening protectively on Mia's shoulder. "Of course. I didn't realize. Well, I didn't know Emma was your daughter." Aaron hesitated, his brows furrowing. "She's my responsibility." Luna tilted her head, but chose not to press further. "Mia, say goodbye to your friend," she urged gently. Mia pouted, but waved goodbye to Emma, who gave a cheerful grin as she skipped toward Aaron. Aaron nodded curtly to Luna, then took Emma's hand and left, his mind spinning with questions. As they left, Luna's figure slumped beside the door as she hugged Mia, her emotions in turmoil. Mia looked at her in confusion, not realizing that the man she just saw was the person she wanted to meet the most. On the other side, as Aaron drove home, Emma chattered happily about Mia. Aaron listened absent-mindedly, his thoughts returning to the peculiar feeling he had when looking at Mia. Over the next few weeks, Aaron and Luna crossed paths more often, thanks to their daughter's budding friendship. Emma frequently visited Mia's house, and Aaron couldn't help but notice the absence of a male figure. "Emma talks a lot about Mia's mom," Aaron remarked casually one evening at dinner. "Oh, really?" his father asked, glancing over his glasses. "She's someone I used to know," Aaron admitted, his voice tight. His father's expression darkened. "From when you were in the city?" Aaron nodded but offered no further details. He wasn't ready to delve into the tangled emotions tied to Luna's sudden reappearance. Meanwhile, Luna found herself wondering about Aaron's life. She had assumed Emma was his biological daughter and wondered who her mother was. A few casual remarks from Emma only deepened the mystery. "Where's Emma's mom?" Luna asked Mia one evening after the girls had gone to bed. Mia shrugged. She said she doesn't have one, just her dad. I guess he takes care of her. The revelation unsettled Luna. She decided it was best to keep her distance, even as their daughters grew closer. One weekend, during a play date at a local park, Aaron arrived to pick up Emma. Luna was already there with Mia. The girls played on the swings while Aaron and Luna exchanged awkward pleasantries. So, Aaron began, keeping his tone casual. Is Mia's dad in the picture? Luna stiffened, her heart pounding. He's busy. Work keeps him away a lot. Aaron raised an eyebrow, but said nothing. And Emma's mom? Luna asked, a hint of challenge in her voice. Aaron hesitated. She passed away. He lied, feeling the sting of dishonesty, but unwilling to share the truth about his sister's tragic fate, leaving her only daughter behind. Luna's expression softened. I'm sorry, she murmured, guilt flickering in her eyes. They both turned back to watch their daughters, the weight of their unspoken truths settling between them. Over the following weeks, incidents began to test their carefully constructed stories. At a school function, the teacher made a passing comment about Mia's resemblance to Aaron. Luna's polite smile froze as she noticed Aaron's startled expression. She's got your determination, the teacher joked, completely unaware of the tension her words caused. Aaron was already on his rope ends, and the comment from the teacher seemed to escalate the matter to its peak. Later that evening, Aaron decided he needed answers. He called his private investigator, someone he trusted to handle delicate matters discreetly. I need you to find out about Mia Hart, Aaron said firmly. Aaron's investigator worked quickly, uncovering details that made his suspicions grow. Mia's birth records listed no father, and the timeline aligned too perfectly with his and Luna's time together. Meanwhile, Luna struggled with her own doubts of whether to tell Aaron about Mia or not. But, seeing how he had a child of his own, she wasn't sure. That evening, she visited a pediatrician. The woman was a friendly one. They talked, and as she told her about her workplace, she immediately mentioned Aaron. It seemed she knew Aaron's family. He is a gentleman. You don't see many people like him today. The woman smiled as she talked about him. After all, he is raising someone else's child, and instead of starting his own family at this age. Wait, you mean she's not his daughter? Luna asked, shocked. The doctor shook his head. She's his niece. His sister passed away years ago, and Aaron took her in. The revelation hit Luna like a tidal wave. Everything she thought she knew about Aaron, about their separation, seemed to shift. The truth finally came to light. As Luna returned to her home, she suddenly realized a pair of shoes outside. And as she entered the house, she saw 3 people inside playing. It was Aaron and the 2 girls. Aaron saw Luna coming in and waved the nanny to leave. With the 2 of them alone in the hall, it was finally time. Mia's my daughter, isn't she? He demanded, his voice low but intense. Luna froze, her heart racing. Aaron, don't lie to me, he interrupted, his eyes blazing. I'll put it all together. Tell me the truth. Tears welled in Luna's eyes as she nodded. Yes, she's yours. The words hung in the air, heavy with emotion. Aaron staggered back, his mind reeling. How could you not tell me? He asked, his voice breaking. Luna wiped her tears, her own anger flaring. You think it was easy for me? You left, Aaron. You chose your family, your life in Everfield. I thought you had moved on. I never had, Aaron shot back. I told everyone I was not interested in marriage, but the truth was no one beside you interested me. Luna's lips rose, but nothing came out of me. Tears flew down her eyes as she put her forehead on Aaron's chest, and he hugged her tightly. It must have been hard on you, but I am here now, he muttered under his breath as Luna cried, letting it all out. The days of sadness were finally over, and new tomorrow was on the horizon for the 2 of them. That's all for today. If you like the story, then hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more such content.